Law, why can they press statement no are prepared? Ne wakayaha president le wa deputy secretary naturally Ebenezer Ajauto. They might read the can no kahawo la ka gbenya imaje ko me asisi ke pemini ke ha adali ke kekewe kone anu nene di wa twisami no akeba wa hinyabwa no yepino lo ipa ye pe yo ne sepeni sesu we ne chene akakwa temi o kwa temi wa we ka wo ma wo minyam ka ko nwelo me ahemya lo yepino
Keno ko chongwe me odi ene se ito bonga de otu kamara ke boy ni tulo
okay moyo
okay kachu okay
na ya ka ene me na ise wa
oh wise so that he will leave there.
Good afternoon, fellow Ghanaians. We invite you to join us live at our press conference today, the day of 13 September 2023 at Aminapa in the Adam West District. Sorry, Adam East District. Neneme, Naname, Yebime, ladies and gentlemen of the press, observers, all Ghanaians, and Adali Abime at home and abroad. On behalf of the leadership of Adam Songo Lagoon Association, ASLA, Dame East South Producers Association, DESPA, Adano Yamipe in abroad, led by their Vice President, Mr. David Amano, the Libi Wano, the Tekebiawe Clans 2 Father, Numu Tete Abledu, the Asapatengwa, Grogo Dadebom Anim, the fifth of the Tekebiawe clan, the Tekebiawe Queen Mother, Nana Koleki Koli the first, Nene Koli Adegun, Chief of Aminapa on Home Territory. We are holding today's press conference. The chiefs, elders, and the youth of all our communities around the Songo Lagoon Basin. We wish to welcome you to this urgent press conference to inform you of the attempt made by Madan in person to invade our towns around the Tobu Lagoon and the eastern part of the Songo Lagoon last Wednesday, 6 September 2023. We will also air our views on the totally disingenuous and palpable false statement made by His Excellency, the President Nana Akuffo Addo at ElectroChem's operation area during the so-called commissioning of ElectroChem's salt mine. We would like to express our profound disappointment and total disgust to the stand and position of the President of the Republic on the Adam Songo Lagoon issue. As it has been our norm, kindly permit us to acknowledge the sacrifices of some of our fallen heroes over the years in the fight for our source of livelihood and sustenance, the Adam Songo Lagoon. Let us observe a minute of silence for our sister, daughter, mother, and auntie Margaret Kuonu, whose life was cut short by a police bullet on the 17th of May 1985 at Bonikopi. May her soul rest in peace. Our dear Nomo Sebi Agbenyefia, who died last year and was buried at Goyi, with a police bullet stuck in him. Let us finally observe a minute of silence for our late former President Jerry John Rawlings, whose wisdom, love of justice, passionate belief in human values, the right of the common man and woman, and sense of fairness gave us PNDC Law 287 and the master plan to protect us. May their souls rest in peace. Let us also not forget the tireless contributions made by Mr. Chachu Chikata, Mr. Fui Chikata, Father Joe Visa, the late Mr. Joe Randolph, the cabinet ministers of the PNDC, especially the then secretaries of Lands and Mineral Resource, Mr. Richard Kwame Pempra, and all those in government at that time who conceived and promulgated PNDC Law 287 and developed the master plan. Let us also not forget former President John Ajekun Kufuor, who initiated the process to retain all the lands which the government was supposed to be holding in trust under the PNDC Law 287 to the owners. Under President Kufuor, plans to implement the master plans were initiated. Unfortunately, he was not able to complete the process before leaving office. Let us clap for them. President Nana Akuffo Addo has turned the good works of these fine gentlemen did into a misfortune for us. Neneme, Naname, our elders, members of the press, and Adali Abime, you are once again welcome. It is most shocking to let you know that on the 6th September, which happens to be Wednesday 2023, McDown himself, in person on his tripod, led a team of land guards and police officers towards Midia and Aminaba to lay claim of the lands on which those towns and surrounding communities, namely Lufenya, Toku, Walakoyom, Obane, Alabanyo, Kute, Totope, and many others are situated. Madam was able to do this because he has been ennobled and empowered by the visits of President Akuffo Addo to his so-called salt mine. Ladies and gentlemen, Adali Abime, we are very glad to inform you that on that day, our people led by our gallant and fearless youths ably confronted McDan and his land guards and drove them away. On his way, he claimed he's going to come back with more land guards and policemen to intimidate us, drive us away from our towns, and forcibly take our lands.
It can't be. No way.
Let us give a hand of applause to our gallant youth at Midia and Aminaba once again. We would like to send a strong message to Magdan that he dares not. We are waiting for him.
Amen.
We call on all our people, the young and the old, our gallant men and women. When the children calls, you should all come out in your numbers from all the towns and villages to bravely defend ourselves against this master land grabber Magdan and his collaborators in government and the Ada Traditional Council.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adali Abime, now let us focus on President Nana Akuffo Addo's speech at ElectroChem's function. It is very unfortunate that the President of the Republic's speech could be so laced with so many untruths inaccuracies, misleading statements, and downright lies, so much that it impinges seriously on the credibility of his office. President Nana Addo, in his speech, alluded to the following. 1. He described Magdan as a courageous entrepreneur. President Nana Akuffo Addo, Magdan is not. Yes. He has never been and will never ever be a courageous entrepreneur. Magdan is a cowardly land grabber whose main forte is to grab people's land, and with his connections in your government, engage the security services and the court to enforce his claims in a mafia style. Yes. Mr. President, you can check the court's records in Ghana and see the number of land grabbing cases against Magdan. Mr. President, in the case of Adan Songwo, we beg you, the paramount chief of Adan, Nene Abraham Akuffo Addo III, who served at the function, will not hesitate to swear on the grace of his ancestors that he only signed a memorandum for 12,423 acres of land covering the Songosod project to Magdan. The deposed Pepebiawe Wejoyi Basaki would not hesitate to swear at the shrine of Nana Libi that he signed a memorandum of 12,423 acres to cover only the Songosod project area to Magdan. You, Mr. President, your secretary, Nana Bediatu Asante, on the 19th August 2020, signed a letter to the Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources granting presidential approval to the divestiture of Songosod project to Magdan's ElectroChem's Ghana Limited. Songosod project was a state-owned company operating at vacuum salt sites or Area 5 on the master plan map. In Magdan's own business plan to the Minerals Commission, on which the mining licenses were granted to him, he stated that he had a land of 63.0 square kilometers or 15,567.62 acres. However, today as we stand here, Magdan is claiming that he has land of 41 acres to produce salt. 41,000 acres to produce salt.
No agree.
Mr. President, Nene Adam and Basaki, how did Magdan obtain the 41,000 acres of land? Who granted such a lease to him? How much money did he pay for it? Who did he make payments to? And where is the money? Mr. President, we have asked these questions before and we shall continue to lawfully ask them until we obtain answers. It is our duty to our fellow Adali Abime and Ghanaians as a whole. Mr. President, how can you, by any stretch of imagination, describe such a person as courageous? 2. Magdan owns the biggest salt mine in West Africa. Mr. President, Magdan does not own a salt mine at Adan or anywhere in Africa. There are no salt deposits at Adan to be mined. Magdan is grabbing the Songo land and its adjoining Magdan is grabbing the Songo Lagoon and its adjoining lands from the people of Ada, from Sege Nakonkope to Alabanyo, an area of over 154 square kilometers of crop farming, solar sea salt farming, and fishing. There is no salt mine at Ada. All that we have at Ada is the land, the sea, and climatic conditions which are conducive to solar sea salt farming and harvesting. There are no salt deposits at Ada to be mined. One can only farm and harvest solar sea salt at Ada. We cannot see how this simple fact can be lost on you. Mr. President, you got this very, very wrong.
Wow.
3. Magdan is producing 650,000 metric tons, which will increase to 1 million metric tons in 2024 and 2 million metric tons in 2025 to yield $1 billion. Mr. President, it is totally disingenuous and disgusting to try so very hard to throw dust into people's eyes so bluntly. Mr. President, in the business plan of Magdan, he stated that salt landed in Nigeria soils between $35 to $55 per metric ton. In his business plan, his cost of production is at $70 per metric ton. So how can he sell his salt in Nigeria? Again, we have made these points many times and will continue to make it and drive home the absurdity of this whole Magdan's enterprise. Mr. President, you claim Magdan will export and earn $1 billion per annum for Ghana. Even if Magdan should produce the 2 million metric tons, he would only sell 110 million at $55 per metric ton in Nigeria. Number 4, employ 30,000 people. Magdan in his statement claimed he had already employed 3,000 people in his operations. In his business plan, he stated he will employ only 200 people. How come the number of his employees has increased by 1,500% in such a short time? We have to find out whether Magdan is paying the social security contribution together with the appropriate tax deductions for his employees. That Adanli, number 5, that Adanli are supporting their own. It is very unfortunate that the President of the Republic has also unwittingly bought into these rules that Daniel McCoy, also known as Daniel Macaulay, also known as Daniel Macaulay, is a son of Adam's soil. Nene Abraham Kabu Akwaku III, please show us the ancestral home of Magdan anywhere on Adan land. How many Adali Abime bear the surname Macaulay? Where were his father, mother, grandfathers, and grandmothers buried in Adan? You, the paramount chief of Adan, concorded and are parading this outright untruth that Magdan is a son of Adan and therefore he deserves to take all our lands from Sege Nakonkope to Alabanyo as his own. For that reason, he has the right to sell land guards and engage law enforcement officers to brutalize us. Your acquiescence to the brutalities and human rights abuses being unleashed on us, your compatriots. Your acquiescence to depriving us of our livelihood for the benefit of this notorious land grabber and his two wives. May Nana Libi and all the deities of Adam and our ancestors bless you for that. 6. Magdan has been socially responsible. Mr. President, it is amazing and very worrying that you can say that Magdan is a socially responsible investor. You have closed your mind to the several cases of brutalities and gross abuses being perpetrated with impunity by Magdan on us. We have on many occasions draw your attention to these events, and by your actions and statements, you have demonstrated very clearly that you do not care a hoot. You do not care a hoot about 35,000 Ghanaian citizens living around the Songo Lagoon Basin. There is a saying in Adan, which translated crudely in English, goes like this: our future is longer than our past. Wahlami kepe wase. In less than 1.5 years' time, you will not be in office. You will not be able to be commanding the state security agencies. You will not be able to influence the judiciary, and there we shall use all legal means available to us to address the inhumanities and the wrongs being perpetrated against us with your tacit agreements by Magdan. We hereby call on our fellow Adale Abime not to be intimidated or discouraged by the President's presence at the function, nor his statements, nor his actions, or lack of action. We shall win against all of them. We shall win against the President, we shall win against Magdan, and we shall win against Nene Abraham Kabu Akwaku III, together with some of his gullible council members. Yes. We won like that before, and we shall win again. All we need is to be resolute and stand firm with one another. Point 7. Award to journalist Bad Kwesi Asari. Magdan at the ceremony made a presentation to journalist Bad Kwesi Asari, a journalist of high repute for winning BBC's Komla Dumont Award. Bad Kwesi has done very well on the international scene, and we wish him all the best. We would, however, like to advise the young man to be careful. It is not used to whitewash and support injustice. A word to the wise is enough. Fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen of the press, and all gathered here today, kindly permit me as I quote the very words of one of our compatriots, Mr. Tepe Aflo, during the crisis with vacuum salt. We are prepared to defend our land and our source of income until the last person in our village is wiped off out. End quote. All of us around the Soho Lagoon Basin very strongly share the sentiments of Mr. Tepe Aflo. We shall die defending our lands and means of livelihood. We fought to resolve the issues with vacuum salts for over 20 years. We shall fight ElectroChem and Mr. Daniel McCoy legally for many years until our legitimate rights are restored. We think it is time we stop here. If we want to address all the issues raised by the president, Magdan and Nene Ada in their speeches, we may not live here today. We think we have said enough. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate your presence. Thank you.
Because of time, I'm not going to be on our member by no pay. Your man, no ham and then hang up on my deal. Not the Chona. Yeah, you got give me a bag here. Everything, I'm a bullet, have to find. Lopio, Jagger, and the Sana, Chona, Sanam, no, yeah, sorry.